My name is Mary. I used to live in a 3-bedroom apartment with my husband and our 1-year-old child. We were not the richest people, but we were rich and happy, truly happy. In fact, people in the compound used to call us the lovey-dovey couple because we hardly ever fought. There was always peace in our home. My husband had a white Benz, and we used it for outings and special occasions. Every Sunday morning, the aroma of my stew would fill the entire compound. It was a big, neat compound with 5 apartments, each one a 3-bedroom flat. Everyone knew each other, and there was no bad blood between anyone. Everything was peaceful, until a new tenant moved in. Her name was Anna. She was beautiful, curvy, well put together, and she carried herself like someone who had money. Whether she actually had money or not, I couldn't tell. But she smelled like it. The very next day after she moved in, she went around knocking on every door, introducing herself. When she got to my apartment, I welcomed her warmly and offered her a seat, but she refused politely. Instead, she handed me a small gift hamper she had prepared for each apartment. I thanked her. She complimented my long black straight wig and asked where I bought it. I told her my husband got it for me. She smiled, said okay, and left. The next day, she met me at the backyard where I was spreading my baby's blanket in the sun. She rushed over, greeting me excitedly and admiring the blanket like it was something special. She even said she couldn't wait to have a baby so I could show her where I got mine. I laughed and told her, soon. Truth be told, I didn't know much about Anna. I didn't know if she was married, but she always talked about my husband this, my husband that. Yet none of us had ever seen this husband. One bright Sunday morning, I was cooking stew when I heard a knock on the door. I thought it was my husband back from buying turkey, but it was Anna. She said she could smell my stew from her apartment and asked if I was the one cooking. I said yes. She then explained that her gas had finished and the delivery man that was supposed to deliver her food hadn't arrived. She begged me to give her some stew. I told her not to worry, I would bring some over when I was done. When I finished cooking, I packed stew with 2 pieces of turkey and took it to her apartment. She thanked me and asked me to sit for a while. She put on a movie on Netflix, and we watched together. But as we sat there, she kept bragging, talking about her previous compound, her lifestyle, and all the things she owned. I just smiled and told her how peaceful our compound was, with no fights or drama. After a while, I excused myself because my baby was asleep. 2 weeks later, a dark-skinned man moved into her apartment. She introduced him as her husband. Everyone welcomed him, and they settled in. That same evening, I was outside with my husband. He was massaging my feet while we ate shawarma. We were just enjoying ourselves. Anna came out, saw us, and went back inside. A few minutes later, she came back out with 2 chairs, drinks, and a big tablet. She called her husband to sit with her and then told him to massage her feet, just like mine was doing. I noticed immediately. My husband didn't. I quietly told him, let's go inside. I'm feeling sleepy. I wasn't actually sleepy, I just didn't want to sit there and watch that. We went inside. The next day, Anna came over again, asking me questions, whether I walked, how old I was, what I did all day. I told her I was on maternity leave. She later offered me chicken soup and insisted on bringing some. It smelled amazing, but it had no taste at all. I ended up recooking it myself. As time went on, I started noticing a pattern. Anna wanted everything I had. My wigs, my shoes, my clothes, my lifestyle, everything. Months later, my husband surprised me with a push gift, a white GLE. I was so happy. The whole compound celebrated with me. Anna was the happiest of all. She grabbed the key, took pictures, kissed the car, and said she would post it online, telling people her friend got a car. Friend. I just smiled. 2 days later, my husband came home and told me that Anna's husband had stopped him to ask how much the car cost. He said Anna wanted the exact same one. I was shocked. Why the same car? A few days later, a white GLE, not even the latest model, appeared in the compound. Anna came out screaming that her husband had bought her a car. We congratulated her. But I understood what was happening. Then it got worse. She started wearing the exact wigs I wore, sometimes the very next day. She dressed exactly like me, even copying outfits from my pictures. Every Sunday, I would see her dressed like a mirror version of me. It was no longer flattering. It was uncomfortable. Then one night, everything exploded. We heard shouting, breaking bottles, and things scattering. My husband and I rushed outside, some neighbors too. It was Anna and her husband fighting. The man was angry. He said Anna had been forcing him to take loans just to keep up with a fake lifestyle. He said this was the same reason they left their previous compound, because she kept copying people. Anna didn't deny it. Instead, she demanded 500,000 Nigerian nairas from him, just to buy the same bone-straight hair I had recently bought. I was shocked. I called her into my apartment later and spoke to her calmly. I told her, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. But you don't have to copy someone else to feel good about yourself. I shared my own story, that life wasn't always perfect for me either, until my husband got a breakthrough. I told her, start small. Be content. Grow at your own pace. She listened. We hugged. But a few days later, she disappeared. I went to her apartment, it was empty. I asked around. The neighbor said she and her husband had moved out quietly. Just like that. Gone. And that was how my copycat neighbor disappeared without a trace. Lesson: trying to live someone else's life will only drain you, put you in debt, and destroy your peace. Be yourself. Grow at your own pace. That's where real happiness comes from.